every mineral when they on, in, below, the soil, and the people they get up. The government just don't like trust for people there. Then they ask me as the Ministry of Mines and Mineral Resources, with Mines and Mineral Development Act, it is very clear. They say to manage them effectively, efficiently, transparently, and sustainably. 4 major words. And we don't take that lightly. And we don't know they do that. Then we could get agency, national agency. We basically, everybody is only formulate, and then they implement, and then they regulate all the mining entities that will provide oversight. And we do that also in consultation, in coordination, and in partnership with other government ministries, departments, and agencies in other countries as well. Because you are signatory to so many treaties, protocols, some, sub-region, ECOWAS, African, as well as global. We believe since some area several times, they say you don't go Naindaba and South Africa for where exhibits would see, the mining sector. You don't go Ghana, you don't go Saudi Arabia, you don't go Dubai, you don't go Toronto. But they do this for some time, they realize that we also citizens, when they open the resources of this country, they don't promote the resources. But they're waiting at the ground. Most of them are not waiting for. And we know beyond they actually reach out or talk to them in a language where they will understand. So there be this expectation in terms of waiting we get as mineral resources and waiting to happen at the ground. So the moment you get that gap, now all kind of rumor, all kind of gossip, and people feel interested in mineral sector in terms of governance, they need to say, oh, just the sheep, people that take our money, they can do this and that. So that people believe in the mining we hope began last year, before they continue every year. And they bring together several stakeholders, from the government ministers, policymakers, to the mining companies themselves, investors, financiers, regulatory agencies, the media, academia, they all really provide mining-related services. We're not kind of one place. I wish this place so big enough because the demand we'll get from both one can participate in so much. So that just shows that we make progress. But most importantly, we do believe no matter what you do, what you showcase, if we're able to actually communicate to people that this mineral resource also will manage efficiently, effectively, transparently, sustainably, correct, correct is judgment, and we say no people understand the aspirations. So the mining week, when I see they open tomorrow, and when I see by the banner, when I respond to people, they say APA. Then there's a somebody asked me, last time I get APA, now which is any organization? I say no. Sierra Leone, we are signatory to so many treaties, protocols, as I mentioned earlier, conventions. The African, the this mining week, we combine them with the African Diamond Producers Association. Lebanon knows that last year, April, we'll be getting mining in 2025. I take over the chairmanship for the first time in the history of Sierra Leone. Even though we don't be a member, that organization already exists. benefits here for many generations. So I'll stop here now, and we'll continue with the discussion.
Thank you very much. Mistakenly, I have time. Key thing is that the mineral resources are this government, they just prudently manage for let the benefits everybody. And waiting people show out, or waiting people that believe, and waiting really then scenario until we deeply understand the two, a lot of misconceptions came in. But also see over the resources from mining for benefit the people where it directly affects. These days we don't see how government take the strain, the effort for ensuring that local people really benefit from the mining. And it means that also call on the all for all partake. Don't only observers. Don't understand what they happen. Perhaps one day they will be participants in the sector. This is a call to order. Understand what they happen. That the opportunities around this sector are open and put up. Very many sessions would be around the mining sector where they call with all attention. For all we have put of this. For the really, I say, after that, we don't see in Sierra Leone when you talk about the mining sector today.
Tenki, I want to tell you what estate in Tenki. Actually, me as Sierra Leonean also was somebody who worked in the mining sector over a very long period. I don't ever feel proud of being in this sector like I do now. For most of we at executive level in the mining industry, we travel a lot to the countries, we meet with colleagues, professionals as well as investors. You get that kind of pride and sense of joy when they talk about your country, how when I love the regulations, they look standard compared to other places. You really feel proud, and when they ask you, even though we make these laws, we know even are enemy, but they even enjoy it when they ask you to explain to them how these laws can come about. So this is a really very good period for mining industry in general. I think the support we the mining companies that we get from the government, especially the ministry and the regulators, I think is evidenced by the volume of investment. I think in a very long period of time since we started working in the sector over 20 years ago, and not ever since the mining sector attracts so much, big investment alone. Now when they talk about all the people just getting license, but they talk about tangibles. They see, for example, like we own the company the amount of CDO they pay now is huge. Marapa said they pay lots of money for that. And so many other companies there also in the country, they implement CIDA project and some CDAs, a lot of community development projects. And I think say that the waiting investors that they look at for investment in a country, one, that the entry barriers. We're not supposed to get too much red tape, the laws, too many small laws there for next year to enter a place. But now waiting for example, NMA don't do. Now one-stop shop, the first thing they go to the Ministry of Finance, they go to the Ministry of, they go so many places for every registered company, let alone for getting money. But now if you go to one place, you get all the information. In fact, you just click the website, all the information in it, so you don't even need any quack consultant for go lie to you. But besides that, we get confidence for the industry for growing the also because of the security of tenure. And this is very important. When you get licensed, you know the phrase say they can pull on them tomorrow. So when you want to invest in the university, this one will not go build house, they can come in and take the land and your house is all lost. So these are other one very important key way investors when they look at how safe you tenure way they acquire. Because most large scale mining licenses like we show, we don't spend up to $790 million as at 3 weeks ago. For put that kind of money, you need to put out a framework. You therefore really get confidence for putting money. And the other thing also with the enjoy now as mining companies. Now peace and the way community issues we get issues because they handle all the community affairs when they get agreement. So we stakeholders, the manufacturers, and all that somebody who work in the company, we stakeholders and then chief and other people, they feel even more respected now because they also get saying as who that they get the license. Then they feel saying that then they are approved because now before you may apply for license, you get for their surface rent. So now the community they feel empowered. Like if you not do what you do, you know they approve the surface rent. So they get that respect. When we said to give more confidence, they get that kind force them what will they get because the community then will always report to the community affairs and because necessarily kind of put pressure on we. So overall I think Sierra Leone at a juncture where I believe saying the mining sector will all go is very admired, but Saloma is difficult. What we do now, normally they respect what we get. Always they look at other people like you, as well they do Liberia, as well they do Nigeria. But actually, when you go to those places, they admire what we get and the value. The Prime Minister said, majority of people get that, all these things. Indeed, we get them. And I think this is a very good opportunity to make people that really can learn about waiting we get and how much of waiting we get. See somebody will ask me, say, they just hire every day, we see people who train the pass, we see they don't load and ship. How government even know say how much they going on, and nobody can tell them. Because people that don't even know say there are systems that they just go mine, put and ship go. You get people that will get a whole system, government, the all level of places so that they will measure how much minerals they export. So I think now knowledge day, we just depend on people and for go learn about waiting day. And as we see also for the miners then, I know say there are still caps for fee, but I think the technology also they improve in the mining sector. The government, including the minister, they put a lot of pressure on all mining companies for more value addition in the country. The way he also mentioned, as something we will talk about, but we all know that the only way Salon in Africa will develop a true value addition. And we already see that majority of, especially our oil producers, we already gear towards exporting concentrate. And not only exporting, we also compete for the volume because we compete with other African nations there. So these are a really good opportunity for we, the mining companies, for even participate in this conference within ASO, because from tomorrow going forward, and everybody will get opportunity to ask me directly, because you will get a chance to go talk to mining executives there, because we mining executives, we normally are very boring. You know, this week at the normal place where they see the normal people. Yeah, you will have to see our offices there, but tomorrow going forward, we'll all go in and I will ask you all the questions they want. Will they go on first time? And I will also network with you as well. Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much. As soon as I started talking, actually, I have any intention for stopping. Because these sessions are for but when you talk to the people, different from when politicians talking. Because you are partaking in the industry. And I like when you say, now as Cardio, one of the outcomes following from the policy directions where the government give people by the volume of investment for the scene and the sector. And also, we talk about the eradication of the bottlenecks when the initial first time for one place goes through as fast. Before you even start for opening on the other now, even online or one place, you able to register a mining company. You also talk about the states in the sector, the public trust. Unlike first time where police harassment, police will just go and mine the site, until they do. The one that they put because what is small money they go mining investment. So if somebody puts money in it, collapse. If you say they collapse, but I don't understand. Also, that problem where it exists between the community people and that investor will take a huge money for that invest. There is understanding, there is information. And it makes somebody just go quiet. Say, because we don't sit down, we see people that can. Now the new mining policy say you go first to the community people, then they arrange before you can proper. All that will shape the sector and not the confidence. So Una really invest in the sector. That is very good and it helps the sector. Thank you very much for the insights we don't give. We transition now. Mrs. Mo Chairman. Thank you. This dot on the wall map called Civic has been known for diamond, whether it's blood diamond, whether it's white diamond. So when somebody looks at an association for African diamond, you want to see the diamond what for in the first place. What is this diamond? And how is this week really significant to you and where you are? I just want you to talk to the media and tell them what is this association, its purpose, and the significance of this particular week that Civic is celebrating.
Good afternoon, everyone. Honorable Julius Daniel Matai, Minister of Mines and Mining Development and Chairman of the African Diamond Producers Association, Council of Ministers. Honorable Deputy Minister Bukari Abdel Aziz, Ministry of Information and Civic Education. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for the introduction and for the warm welcome I am very happy to be here and to be part of the Sierra Leone Mining Week. My name is Ella Muchema, as has been said. I'm the Executive Director for ALPA, based in Angola, but I'm actually Zimbabwean. I'm a geologist by training, and I have been in the industry for many years, particularly diamonds and gold. Thank you very much, Honorable Deputy Minister, for the question. I am very happy to share with you what is the African Diamond Producers Association, ADPA, what do we do, why are we here, and also highlight some of the things that are important to ADPA. ADPA is an intergovernmental organization. That means all its members are governments, comprising of leading African diamond producing countries, or those who have the potential to produce diamonds, that is countries that are doing exploration for diamonds or have mines that they are trying to bring into production. It seeks to enhance the influence of all its members on the global diamond markets. The association was formed on the 4th of November 2006 through the Luanda Declaration. It is headquartered in Rwanda, the Republic of Angola, and seeks to be the common voice or the single voice for its 22 members. Honorable Makai has already mentioned some of the member countries. I'd like to highlight that Sierra Leone was there in 2006 when the association was formed. So Sierra Leone is a founding member. The vision for the association is to be a strategic platform for cooperation and coordination that promotes a sustainable and dynamic African diamond industry. And this vision also aligns with the information that we got on the key themes for Sierra Leone Mining Week. The association, when it was formed, had 18 members, and since then it has grown to 22 countries and continues to raise its voice on international platforms. This week, why are we here? The 11th ordinary meeting of the ALPA Council of Ministers will happen tomorrow, the 20th, and this will bring together all the ministers of mines or appointed representatives from the respective governments to map out the future of Africa's diamond industry through the association. Currently, as the Honorable Minister said, the Republic of Sierra Leone is steering the ship as ALPA chair, with South Africa as deputy chair. And because the statutes of the association provides that the chairing country hosts the meetings, we are absolutely thrilled to be here in Freetown. Sierra Leone's leadership has been exemplary. They have shown a deep commitment to responsible mining and have been instrumental in uniting major African diamond actors under the ALPA family. Plus, holding this meeting during Sierra Leone's National Mining Week gives us a perfect backdrop to highlight the country's incredible reforms and investments potential. Crucially, we're focusing on capacity development, regional cooperation, a unified communication strategy, and because a lot of our member countries have small-scale miners, artisanal and alluvial mining is important. Beneficiation and value addition is also important to ensure that the mining communities around the diamond mines in the country benefits from its resources. We also organize workshops to develop common positions or to provide training is requested by member countries, and one of the latest projects we are working on is capacity and capability development for member countries once they request for it. Some of the major achievements of ADWA as an organization, as I said, it's a unified continental platform, creating a powerful single voice for African diamond producers who contribute more than 70% of diamond production in the world. In the past, we had some countries that were under sanctions, countries like Zimbabwe, Cote d'Ivoire, the Central African Republic, and ADWA played a pivotal role in successfully advocating for the lifting of those sanctions. One of the objectives of ADWA is to promote the adoption of harmonized legal solutions between member states and standards, and to that end, ADWA has developed the Sustainable Diamond Standard, which includes promoting responsible, sustainable mining and creates real jobs and improves livelihoods based on a common, uniquely African development standard. This work is in progress, and Sierra Leone is part of that work. I would like to end off by wishing you all the best in the hosting of the Sierra Leone Mining Week, and I wish you all the success. Thank you.
Thank you very much, the Executive Director of African Diamond Producers Association, for the updates on what your organization is, what it stands for. My own understanding is an intergovernmental organization proposed to enhance the interests of all its members in the diamond market. And what is of very good interest to me is because when you bring countries together, not all of them have the same capacity. But I'm interested to know that one of the things you do is to build the capacity and capability, to develop the capacity and capability of all members. This brings everybody to speak on what you want to do as an association. And I think Sierra Leone will continue to benefit from those sort of projects. Thank you very much for that brief update on what the association is. Back to the room. We don't get the opportunity for listening to the minister, the private sector player, a very big association we also serve be part of. Most times, we wanted the media ask the questions. From your questions, you get a lot of response from the panelists. But let me guide the process. Let me guide this process. Not to everything you know, you can ask her. No, we are going to limit our questions to what is happening here. We are here for the purpose Mr. Kamara, your question should be related to what is happening here. Yeah? We want to give finance enough time for me to talk about what did happen. Event to log out between a half. Not to example 1964, 65, when yeah? Thank you very much. At this point, I want to take the full set of 5 questions. 4 sets of 5 questions. This is the 4th estate. Very responsible people. Therefore, me, the chairman of this program, if I don't tell you, say, ask questions related to what you have. I don't want to ask geography question. Biology class. Meaning you have part of the session. Even the person will talk to you. You may be feeling safe, you know we are posting, all this meeting, you talk, you just have malice or other things. When one tells you understanding of what they don't explain to me, the minister don't take the time to explain the purpose of this. We go get, and you don't want to be all for everybody for waiting. A lot of opportunities being around. When you make investment, financing of mining, whenever somebody now, the private sector, the government approach, they are telling us that experience what they face right now, compared to what we don't exist. And how they're not able to overcome some of the challenges. So freedom talks away on a very big passage of what we belong to, the purpose and why they're there. If you never they ask one of the people down at the side. Thank you very much. So before the questions, I want 2 man, 3 man, 4 sets. 2 man will almost ask question. 1, 2, 3. Mr. Kamara, you want it? Woman, I want to man, I don't get 3 man questions. Woman. So this is our 50. If I need to choose someone, I'm not choosing myself, I cannot choose woman. Okay. And then, okay, any man will follow this. Okay, fine. Mike.
Thank you very much, Mr. Minister. I'm Opa a journalist. We don't see authorities there in government. They're powerful for regulate various regulations in the various organizations. But in the mining sector, we get the enemy with still an agency where it can be very, very short for both mining companies with the biological laws. So what thing I don't do for make sure say the agency becomes an authority. Thank you.
Mr. Sila, we all understand the mining body is a very critical juncture because the competition in West African countries is increasing. Simandou in Guinea is now considered to be the entrance to the gold. Liberia is upcoming, Cameroon is as well upcoming. Within Europe as a group, they do extra for match up with the competitive market situation.
Thank you very much. To the Minister of Mines, we talk about transparency in handling the minerals of the country. I think waiting plenty of Israeli people run from the hill now. Now how transparent your data no handle the real import management since the given contract for manager. How much Salomon gets from that area of policy? They are supposed to be paying to the government for whatever jobs. That is one of the questions. Mohammed Buhari Watch, Executive Director. Madam, what in the experience in association needed to be done so that members, the citizens of member states will benefit from the diamonds they produce? Can I repeat again? As member of the association, like all the years long, what in the experience needs to be done so that citizens of member states will benefit from the diamonds they produce? Can I ask you that?
Minister, you emphasize the minerals are national assets and also we hold up in trust and it must benefit this country. So, now my question, how can states now ensure the equitable distribution of these resources benefits the region? Thank you.
Thank you very much. At this set of journalism, to the point, to the subject matter, inside this room. No, so why the opportunity to the various people for the hand to the question? I think the bulk of the question goes to the minister. No one not on you.
Thanks very much. The question regarding enemy. As I said, enemy in regulatory agency, set up by an act for ensuring the mineral resources for this country. They provide the regulatory, supervisory, not supervisory, implementation. So they're getting ahead, Director General. I was Director General for 5.5 years. And Engineer here, when I'm Director General. You see, the enemy since the Senate set out in 2013, no, the Act 2012. They don't need that. Just imagine, my university business company, more than decades, we don't get any agency like that. Rather, the ministry, the area responsible for public policy, regulate, implement, and everything. Where was the gatekeeper and function at the same time. So this time we couple. In terms of where the Civic country become is they get short hand or something for punish. Yeah. It's an authority governed by its own act. Every mining company will give you license. You get rights and obligations. With your first and official say, your rights are protected, but make sure your obligations you meet them. So we get the different directories, we get directories of mines, in there they get inspector of mines, they get manager responsible for large scale mining, for small scale mining, for artisanal. We get past 200 mine monitors. Well, that will be the only they call it mining complex officers. Mostly graduate stationed at every mining company, whether large scale mining company, at small scale mining company, as well as in those artisanal areas. We get regional offices in Bo, Makini, Kenema, Kono. At the same time, Australia is small, though yes, the small countries of 2,000 square kilometers, but then, as I mentioned the other day, in terms of large scale mining companies, it's over 29, small scale is almost over 30, then you get at over 1,340. You can't be everywhere at the same time. So even for monitor, all the three categories there, you didn't do that at the same level. Yeah? Large scale mining companies like the Rock, Marapa mines. Before then you get license, they will take full environmental impact assessment, they come up with an environmental social management plan. When you get the mine plan then, and everything where they do, starting from production to export, you get to monitoring. Okay? The same thing is small scale. Artisanals are tougher because most times they do with social media. And largest human beings, artisanals are running social media. Now we get the resources. But now we can go and mine so illegally and illicitly, sometimes used by foreigners. I mean, transparently, Combo, Masi, Lucy, and Amasa, not to strengthen the war here. We are stretched, but nonetheless, if put people in there, over the last few years, remember the 2-year deal we get to provide, we use the technology, login drones, and now we use tablets, probation, so we send it in real time, near real time, in the visitation. Every mining company also get obligations to submit the reports. First, some years back, and about paper, but now we don't create a platform where we submit in real time. So we monitor all of this. In terms of where you reach, not to just be because you don't meet such obligations to reach for what you want. The law gives you chance, if you're not last year in economy, 30 days to take a corrective measure. Okay? Because things like that we sometimes outside of control. Might be a very complex process. In the interaction with communities, the environmental issues, the local issues, the socio-economic issues, so within 30 days, if you don't have, yes, a very clear regulations which are the penalties. The monetary penalties, if you lead to either suspension of your license or even termination, or can revoke your permit. And also we normally do that. We do that contract with the Environment Protection Agency and you manage that way. You get NRE, we normally do fiscal obligations. There's a National Water Resources Agency we deal with that. You get look at content we send, look at things that we can do in economic. You understand? In terms of punitive measures, if you don't find you, then the law make it clear. It's that even if you check the act, it up to even imprisonment. But remember, I say some things that in a criminal activity, we get reports to the right body, we know to policeman them. We know to the law, judiciary. Because the pressure of power, you know this. So let everybody know that this makes the enormity of the task. And I agree say yes, it's not perfect. No matter what technology, which law you put in place, you know what the most important factor? The integrity of the one you send for good monitor, for good work. I mean, severally, we put the figures of government authorities, so we don't know nothing. But we put the figures and tell them, so guilty of these classes. But most important, the way give me pleasure every day as we monitor the sector, manage the government sector, we encourage a lot of young men and young women, and we treat them in capacity. Not only that, because they employment, but make sure to inspire them as well to be better versions of themselves. They will empower them to provide the resources they need. Yeah, there are still rules for improvement, and the mining companies themselves, when they undertake training, when they undertake stakeholder dialogue, when we use the lapses they did, not all it also what it means to keep us in account. Sometimes it's important. We get discussions there. So then you understand that yes, there's still work to be done. We need to know how to help. Everybody here is a citizen of this country. If you did a community something, you would have right to report it to regional offices, to local offices, and to the government, or to citizen agencies. Together, if we do that, honestly, we'll be a better strategy when we become benefit.
Thank you very much, Minister. Please, can you do us?
Sorry. I think I'll get one more question to me. Sorry. The one about transparency or the real report. You see, severally, everybody talks about we get the real reports. I've been involved in this industry for years. But let I just remind you that quick, where African mirrors are here. If we get African mirror really size, now they get the first agreement they signed for 99 years. For which they will pay $250,000 per year. If anybody wants to go check their archives, where they said around 2009. For 99 years, then at $250, they're $250,000. Up to the time making an NMA in February 2019, nobody really knows of 7 months ago. And the agreement was in a way that, yes, you make it. The one they say, African mirrors UK, African mirrors Sierra Leone, African mirrors service will be the manager and the will terminate the license when a shutdown still and I will be get up in July 2019. We take the rail report, then the asset will be in at Okolini. We always call it Okolini, not to we call Kasafi in the south side. All will be known to shutdown. where we take from African members. If you know the story again, Shandong stopped the operations around November 2017 related to self-administration. Now, one of the reasons is they also say they don't even get out of that situation when we get to terminate. But before we terminate, when the lady can maintenance, we Israelis will go and loot the book. Then we each other go sell the money. Damage a lot. Everybody tells you to get in condition. So, I'm going to go through something. I'm going to go to China to go assess the case of people. And we worry if anybody will ever meet that way. More than 80 kilometers away. It's not a wage. A lot of the time, we can check the archive, estimate the value that African Americans pay between $1 to $1.5 billion. But it will take it. Okay? You see that we move on. By the time Kigo came into operation, or before you came operation during the negotiation, it was around September 2020. We made it. So the license are aware the license. For example, policeman will be there. I know they are using policeman anymore. But the vandalization increased. Yeah? Now we be the community, now we get a demand that this can't add. Now it was. So again, I don't accuse anybody living at just acts of God no more. So that we make people, we don't listen to New Rock, that's a little New Rock, the Kilo Mining Company, and radio services. The assets. We make it to pay, I'm going to take over, now you will get private, so we will not be able to pay. Then we're going to be managed, and we have to take it. Okay? Then it gets, again, I mean, it's very clear. The Mines and Minerals Act gives authority over mining concession areas. The rail and port is not governed by the Mines and Minerals Act because it is outside mining concession. What we realize is the boundary when it delimits clearly. Enough for people that are 125 square kilometers. And waiting the whole of the best. 125 kilometers, in one way, they can go for it, I take over directly to other mines, minerals and minerals development activities. Then we push for them to get the right to be managed and port. What will you see for the transport? Not mines. So we create now just to take care of that. When we get an agreement, we get it for 20 years. Yeah, I was part of that negotiation. We increased money from $250,000 to $1.25 million a year. Okay? The government take responsibility to say, Kigo Rail and process, so they give that money, that will compensate the people who are affected by that rail from Prema to Pepe. That will compensate them annually from that money. Then we work with the New Rock, with our permanent company, also to make sure they left some amount of capacity for third-party users. All right? And that act, if anybody wants to put it in the website, the agreement, very clearly on terms. So in terms of transparency, as far as I'm concerned, it's 100% met. In fact, it bothers me at one time we don't take that commitment. Where the people along the railway corridor begin worry, see they don't get any money, they will say, well, to government a responsibility. That will pay. If you almost affect the operations, rather than New Rock actually go pay them, they say, well, the doctor will go to the people. If you talk about transparency, I think, we as a government, we as a people, we as a community, say we will meet. So, as a Minister of Mines, I can tell you now, the rail and port services now, not only Ministry of Mines or NMA, another Ministry of Transport and Aviation, and they don't create an agency where they right now provide capacity and capability for continuing that. But as far as transparency is concerned, I believe it's done very transparently.
Thank you very much. When old footballer talk coach will ask a question, this is a paper. Those 3 years at the corridor. So he moved. But what that means that because some of these things sometimes journalists ask questions when somebody will ask, and the answer may be not particularly good, but for the general understanding of the people. And Mr. Sila, somebody asked the preparedness of New Rock for the emerging competition. It's not to argue now. Guinea is coming, Korea is coming, how prepared are you?
Thank you very much, Mr. Kamara, for the question. I think the big worry for the Europe will be just get the license because say you get two people that run, two casualties all day before we. When African minerals in Shandong, and these are very big companies, then they really get money and they will get strength for investing. But they close. So what we said come, we even concerned with, but before we can, we get plan, and we focus on the plan. So we come with the vertical integration model. Well, for begin, increase small by level, but not try to overstretch itself. Because we know that the only way we will survive, and all truly, like you say, like boom and bust. Like if they go up, they go down the other day, then before you know, they don't shut down. The good thing for Champoli, the iron ore deposit, the largest iron ore deposit in Africa, by far away. We talk about between 12 and 13 billion tons. Whilst the second win as Simanduna just like roughly 4 billion tons. So you will see the top in like 3 billion, so we by far. But the disadvantage rate of quality get great 9 low. So we do not say besides Simanduna coming up, if we just rely on that with small 57% low grade low, they export it go one away because actually the iron ore industry and the global market they get Platts index. The Platts index that like waiting we they look for like 62%. So we they export 57. So you see so we they far like almost 5% below within the market we look for. So one, we strategy was for optimize. Now we able to begin produce 62% and above. And also not only for produce the grade way the global market look for volume. So if you remember in 2024, we completed a 12 million tons per annum processing plant. In 2025, we complete a 10 million tons per annum processing plant. This 2026 will also complete a second 10 million tons per annum processing plant. As we talk so now, His Excellency the President will commission that second 10 million. We already don't start the 10 million tons per annum processing plant. So by next year we complete 30 million tons plus the 12 million, the top of 42 million tons. But actually by the end of 2028 we complete a second 30 million tons. So we talk of 72 million tons per annum processing capacity for Champoli iron ore mine. So that will give me an output of roughly 22 to 25 million tons concentrate, where we really make it competitive. But we still don't worry because Simandou come in the pipeline. Simandou they get the highest and largest grade, they get the largest high grade iron ore deposit in the world. Then they will influence the market price greatly. So your cost for production is very high. Alright, because we need to do more for S62%, but then not really need to do more because the grade is already good. So as a result, we current partners that will get in, they look at Europe for get an export capacity of 100 million tons. So we need to talk about processing capacity or export capacity of 100 million tons. So as we talk now, we enter technical management team now to look at how to expand. Because the problem we get, so unlike other developed countries, we don't get infrastructure. So Europe will get bottleneck. If we want to go above 25 million, the railway, they allow it to go above the existing rail. Meaning we will build new lines to buy new locomotives, additional wagons, because the government not get money for carrying that one day. But if you increase the rail, meaning you also get to increase the port, because the port will get also now capacity now 25 million. So more or less like They say no grow past 25, but we want to grow 100. So maybe see we get to do an increase of almost 100. But we are working on it, as you can see, by the testimony of that and the number of plants that we will give, that they should say we believe 100% they will be able to resist any global shock.
Thank you.
Thank you.
The question is, it looks small. The answer is ask the question when we get branches. Thank you very much for, I would say, Mr. Rahman, your question is being answered. I think the next question, okay. Mr. Kamara, the celebrity of this program, asked the simple question. Your organization, how are you prepared to protect the interest of member states, the interest of the community members of your member states? Meaning, Gimba is Slovenia. How is ARPA ready to protect my interest in this vote?
Thank you very much for that small but not simple question. What do we think should be done to ensure that communities benefit from their diamonds? I will start off by saying different countries have different capacities to implement programs, but when we talk about responsible and sustainable mining, which helps create real jobs and also improve livelihoods of communities. One of our objectives is also driving local wealth creation for local economic impact. So that's for the communities. We encourage member countries to do local beneficiation and value addition, which creates jobs and also increases the value of the money that comes out of the diamonds. We also encourage from the revenues the improvement of livelihoods, the granting of procurement opportunities, training, capacity development and capability development. Responsible mining also ensures or requires that there are provisions for looking after the environment, and where the environment is harmed, plans are put in place to restore the damage. Where possible, infrastructure development, schools, hospitals, roads, the governments are able to implement these from increased revenues. But for all this to work, I believe, and we believe, that stakeholder engagement and consultation is important. The government talking to their communities, and the communities talking to their government, supported by legislation. Thank you.
Mr. Kamara, okay. Very encourage member states for at least work creation, even procurement involve locals, capacity building, value addition. Because if they just take the car and go, they don't benefit you. But if they do value addition, what's create jobs? This is that. So we already at the same capacity, we're already at the same level. But they encourage the member states for X, Y, Z, so that the locals will benefit from the process. Mr. Peak, that's a job Mr. Mamura in question. I want to be brief.
transparency. If you talk civil, this is not transparent, you become a dodgy question. We just want the opportunity. I mean, that's a very good question. Equitable distribution, how do you make sure that's happening transparently? Well, with mining economy generally the mining sector, you either left out as voluntary with a corporate social responsibility, with an outside people or you legislator. In the Mines and Rural Development Act, we legislate to called Community Development Act to make sure that those communities where mining take place, they get 1% of the gross revenue from that mining company from the previous year, and 1% of 1%. Now, it's not a way, a lot of people don't know what's either the mining district development fund. We will into 20% of all royalties and distribute them to their communities or the children. Where basically the district mining rich, but then they benefit from the community development fund. Say for example, Marampa, if you take Boko of the street, Mafoki and Marampa and the benefit of promoting Marampa mines in Tenedu, but the other 11 they don't get. So probation say there is some equity or equity distribution for all one gets. So they take that 20% from the royalties at national level and distribute amongst them. Make sure finance is responsible for that, the financial secretary and the custodian. But beyond that as well, we get also via the EPA, when they do some environmental impact assessment reports, they go to the consider community development action plan, where they say the same thing back to the community. Beyond that, that one way we do when you pick up money, we also go this year, that way we community development fund. Again, we make sure say that's distributed to the entire areas, the chief of Musa that money will take place. It depends on the number of licenses that we issue within that particular chiefdom, and we distribute the money in proportion to the number of licenses issued. Beyond that, to make sure say all this will be the surface rent we get, because the law provides for that. So if we stop, the surface for this way access to the minerals, therefore competitive, even for crops. We get land lease agreements. These are monies that are going to the community. Now, for ensure say the equity and transparent, let me put your mechanisms in place. Every time we move money there, we invite all the ministries, departments, and agencies we work with local authorities and the chiefs. Yes, once in a while we get some inconsistency. But with the publisher of that, like earlier mentioned, so we can launch economies when a community management, community development management information system. Any Australian, any chiefdom, you go to see all the various revenue streams that I want to say. It is show how much dollar accrue over the years, who will distribute, and will provide all the contact details for anyone responsible. But more importantly as well, we get the EITI, Extractive Industries and Transparency Initiative. You are doing a member since 2006 about that. Okay? We get the multi-stakeholder group to which AMA and ministry attend. Formations is published and they follow the EITI to put out the report. All mining related money from the extractive sector, they always have payments and they are one every 1 year. The EITI reports are normally 2 years late. So now if you talk about 2026, you want to check, you get information related to 2023, 2024. Read that and it's called the dollar set. Now this is not a Australian problem. Now EITI from the headquarters, we use the technology to improve information for us to be very correct. But then inside that we also do the picture disclosure and we put all the content. And then information say again is clear. Because we're in our tax for 2022, we can say we get for the free primary informed consent, we get for the stakeholder consultation, we get for provide all of those. So the NMA, ministry, yes, we are not perfect. We look at content agents for visual say as well. They already provide mind-related services, cascading. And we take into consideration gender mainstreaming, we make sure that we move that approach on the board, and also make sure that meaningful consultation takes place. And we put out those information. Most of them is still work in progress. We are not perfect here, but we are there. But that's how we try to make sure some transparency and every institutions in terms of governance. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I know we will attempt for all 5 questions. Now we take the next 3. 2 man, 1 man. Or all 3 in 1. 1, 2, 3. Okay, Boya. 3.5. Now, how many of them was? Okay, 1.
Good afternoon, everyone. Nina Aisha Kamala from Shirianke Media. So I want to ask a general question to the panelists and within the panel. Mr. Minister, you already answered of the question. You made mention about the appreciating value of the raw materials we get from the mineral resources. And then the question that I want to ask, waiting the stock winner salon and in general Africa, wait for make we not able to produce their resources from the beginning. So what you mentioned like the motorcar, because we said one for buy motorcar, but when they come up for mobile, see for Kenya, for okay, I have now attacking, you know. So I'm waiting at the problem when they make, they able to forget finished products from the mineral resources.
Good afternoon, Mr. Minister. This question of you.
Good afternoon, everybody. Minister David Solomon, and I will continue here. Mr. Minister, this question I will for you. From last year to this year March, I don't really work now. Illegal mining companies and a lot of reports on issues that really affected illegal miners. And one of the key issues that on counter debts and reported debts that we have, they call them Bobo widows for long time. So the question is, throughout this 1 week we get for we will not get at that conversation we will go happening about those kind of way forward to see that say we are able to tackle with illegal miners and illegal mining activities and mining communities.
Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Rabdu Kabu. I have a simple question. This event has been created. We saw the last edition last year, and now we have the mining week this year. Can Sierra Leoneans expect to have this annually so that we can learn and give knowledge and share information?
Mr. Minister, in our society, editor of Premier News, we concern the farmers' agreements. You have some provisions in that agreement being on in the interest of Israel. And this is partly due to the fact that when government negotiates that particular agreement, government is in a disadvantaged position. So I asked whether the bank will get any plans for renegotiate that agreement.
Thank you very much. I think all the questions are directed to the minister. So rest and allow him to struggle through the process.
Thank you very much. Aisha Kamara, good question for that. Good question. A lot of people ask me the same thing. See, they always talk of this since you're defending the mining companies there. Which is stop people, they will say no get to you people. And I will still use the same example from where we are in Bolivia. Because it seems everybody wants to go to car. So they also we are receiving Burkina Faso, they do electric people, all the good things. You see, we you get for land, say, earlier example, I decided to move from Libya or to Portugal. You get the mining industry, you get actually the chemical industry, then you get also automotive industry. It means you get to look at it holistically. Yeah? For do that, somebody talk about EDSA. But we don't see an EDSA problem. Because EDSA, if you remember power generation, that this country gets first, somebody responsible for generate power, somebody responsible for transmitter, somebody responsible for distributor, and server. EDSA at the end of the day. But we get problem across this entire value chain. Oh yes. Yeah? We get EGTC, so not to EDSA no more. Power. I mean, electrification, that the backbone for industrialization. If you don't get that, let's be honest. The issue I mentioned earlier, every mining company, large-scale mining company in this country, they're not connected to the national grid. Now, then they count the generator them, they count the new fuel. The last 3 months, the zero good up by nearly 66%. And see, I was a particular because recently when they get problem, maybe engage discussion how they take the fuel. When they take this in the camp, now about 365,000 liters that they use per month. That's a lot. Okay? That kind of just mine no more. If anybody don't look at the mining site, if you go see the machine there, how massive they are, the vehicles that run all around there, they get to run on the road. Some places they need really to move them. If you don't get the infrastructure in terms of energy, roads, yeah, well integrated, you get problem. The energy issue, we have the talk about. If you actually look like Leon Roberts mentioned, we don't put a few times. They don't put, 26 megawatts. I think how many models that don't build about? I think so they don't have put 200 megawatts. We more than 2 meters in terms of power generation. Now, the same thing for bauxite. For negative that bauxite converted to aluminium and process. The lithium example, after all they don't crush and grind the iron, which they export, lithium concentrate, or which cost per unit, SC6. When they try to go back, as I said, to convert that into lithium sulfate, the chemical process, you need 4 things: the energy, the technology, the money, and human resource. We are the team challenges that we get now. So that would say they do that. Next time, for you to create a battery grade lithium hydroxide and carbonate, when you value multiply, now another industrial process. How many industrial chemists have been in Salon or even the university offer a module or curriculum for that? So we get a whole lot. So not to add some no more. Take it from the infrastructure to the energy and roads, the human, technical, and financial. So that 90 stop. But that nonetheless, whatever the attempt said we begin West Africa Integration Investment Summit in Niawe or to Winkela host, these are some of the things we talk about. So okay, we get iron or Naya, we take a stand in China. Senegal, no, we don't have more. So why don't we make gas pipeline from Senegal to Sierra Leone? We get some iron ore, let's say some gas. Then okay, we now take right now Marapa and Europe can concentrate. The next thing you need to convert to pelletization. We will create jobs and other stuff. Yeah, after that, now they go put for run electric furnace to small people. So those are the issues. Let's just move to the next question quickly. I know we run out of time. Illegal mining. Anytime I can come on radio or TV, I try for the distinguish between illegal mining and illicit mining. That problem we can talk about not only on illegal mining, illicit mining as well. I can say illegal and don't even know mining of their license, so they're not legal. They get one the way legal, but they do things unethically, immorally, they're illicit. When I forgive me, I can always give an example. I can say, marriage, people sign good old thing, you don't know we marry legally. But I'm not sure what you say, Marima, not to be affair. That is illicit affair, not illegal affair. So the mining are so, but they give the license, illegal. But we're going to do it not correct, illicit. So we get problem with illicit at the end of the day. It's easier to manage the illicit one day because they get license, we don't sell it. The illegal one day,
Now they will get a problem. And they always hide. But unfortunately, they don't want anything to take place without the knowledge of the local communities. Most, I don't want to say illegal mining in Ireland or illicit mining. You didn't say on bauxite. You didn't say on rutile. Because a lot of mineral, most of the time on gold. Yeah, low volume, high commodity, high value. And where they take place, no matter, look, I don't work as a consultant before, I don't visit so many mining sites, some things are deplorable. The only man they're ready for gold mining are their pits. They get them they call them Kosovo, Ukraine, the next no matter how we take for help the city, they listen to. Because of that, they don't drink. Say, so man don't say they don't put around, you say this week, a person like that. Even go to hold the way outside the field for what they do. Because they listen in the future. And they don't report them. Only the way accident don't happen. So that challenge you go on. So you will not visit the president, they tell me where I was at me. And after that you try to engage, you let you know some people don't know. Yeah, they don't visit a really fine. Yeah. Then finally SL mining. Before we quick question, whether this mining with intention and plan and we on year after year. The first time we attend something like this, and in May 2021, we do the launch of the nationwide geological survey. We've done for one day, it was well attended, then the next day we dismantled. After that, we were going to the question, we said, well, all these are going to open up, only one day no more. Then we said we did for 2-3 days. Last year we did it, came out well. We attended last year, and by the time we got to this year, we actually see we don't make improvement. That's what I know about your unions. If we challenge yourself, we can always get a better version of yourself. And that's how we do. So we hope that this year, next year, this year, the amount of homes the woman can, even from the south region and from abroad, we never have to manage all that. So now they never want to for next year. So when I look at strong, how we make this bigger. Let me maybe convert them to West Africa and Ghana who use the salon. My problem is limited. You know, we have been a general enemy. We are one of the people who will make recommendations after the minister around the UK for them come to the license. They will go arbitration. Sadly, most of your leaders don't even believe and trust what we do. They believe if they say the digital grace. It's a so arrogant, no grace, and my pipe protocol. The treasury, with mitigation of 1.7 billion, we begin with fear as well as with hope. And then we go arbitration. Almost we don't lose all, that's what happened. After the arbitration done, now then can have a cabin, we have a settle. You ever see that the UK somebody who got? Then, if you believe in the win, it was not drink champagne and relax, play Monica. But they can't believe we made a mistake as a country. We go negotiate for terms. We basically, nobody in the country people. Sorry, last year they said, we had one opportunity to have a lot of people don't still understand. But remember, it was in September 2021. We all know the plan is we don't get 20 billion, then we get 10% in semi-rapid operation. Then we get 10% in carried interest. But all man forgets it won't become arbitration. The first will be for the agreement. Now we will get settlement agreements. You know, to lawyer, but then everybody will on the web. When we go ICC, and when the people will exceed for arbitration, we will apply in camp. That time the office of the Attorney General will be everyone. That was his name. Then Timothy Musa Kabali, the minister, will be the advisor. But you know, we know the cabinet at DG, we voice on the cabinet committee minister Kebo. But the long and short story is, as a nation, whether DG, whether the minister, whether the Attorney General, we made mistakes as far as I'm concerned. And I'm glad we bring that because the people that go read the terms, I think some of them are not in our favor. I say this, we are in case we get Nami for South and Kusai and the South. We get the concession with the up, what they call, Kiblarat. We throw all that in. So those terms and conditions, we are fully agree with you. I think where I sit as Minister of Mines are basically not correct. It needs to be visited. And we'll continue for influence the government and talk to our parliament that things don't change. Some terms and conditions in India, and the license for 25 years, if not be careful, we make it a generational mistake. And we'll continue to fight for that. I fully agree with you. And they make a promise here, we will continue to engage for ensuring the right thing is all right. Thank you.
Thank you. Sometimes when somebody talk from the heart, politics aside, we are all Canadians. What is right, as it's all the song. And collectively, as a nation, the minister said I was a mistake in that agreement. Notwithstanding, the government currently do tremendous effort for ensure that every other arrangement will enter will be the interest of the state. Sometimes people don't understand why we side with the investors because they just want to showcase that yes, that's areas. Every percentage when you look at community now, and only say the investors are account. Because everybody will come, the bottom line in business is to maximize profits. So you do as much as you can for cost down on expenditure. So anyone who is there at community, you know the business or not increase that. So we are moving as a country. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, any other streets, it will everyone be illicit and illegal. That will take time. Minister can tell me if you marry, if you do tendency for everybody, which will be nice. If you black, I have illicit mining, that's what say example. You will observe the country. Scenario mining week 2026, they continue and they promise important platform for dialogue. Investment, promotion, innovation, and partnership for the mining sector. Minister also we all and everybody business for long now, so that one day we are informed, we get the knowledge for participating. At this point, I want to have plenty stake. The media has always been the easy. We go to the village, I remember, because we are in Lunge, as a minister of the media, especially for press conference, we are at the not knowing how we identify. So, presidently for this session, I answer the parliament president, will take the time and talk to the media. I wish you all a fruitful mining week